Um, Outreach is really big. I mean, a lot of the topics that we're interested in are social justice or of social importance. And a lot of the funding is available from people who are issue driven. They care about the issue. We sometimes have a dual role. Like, we care about the issue, but we care about the film, right, as a film. So because I care about the film, Heather's not in it. If you just care about the issue, you put all your emotional stuff and you let the audience sort it out. But I don't think that that serves a film, right? You are storytellers. You are telling a coherent story. Whatever serves the story, you try and make that work. If it doesn't serve the story, but it's great, you figure out some other use for it. So I interviewed the Attorney General of the United States, Eric Holder. I chased him for a year. He finally agreed to do an interview. This is like becoming the centerpiece of his administration, criminal justice reform, and it's not in the movie because it didn't work. We didn't have any other real talking heads that weren't really connected to the program, and having the Attorney General pop in would make it a different kind of movie. So there you go. But for outreach purposes, what do people mean by outreach? They mean, or how are you getting to the, so there's your inner core people who are like the public defenders. I would hope that I could get them to be interested, right? Then there's the next group of people who are maybe people like us. We don't know that much. We're interested, right? Then there's the people who are like, they never thought about this. They think they don't care. Can we also get to them? So a film can be the core and you're ever expanding out. And the goal is to try and bring some new voices, some new people to the table, to do some new partnerships. So I was always thinking about issue outreach in my mind. John Rapping, my main character, I thought, was always thinking about issue outreach. And so one of the things, particularly if you have an issue film that you can start doing early on, is building your community. So right now I'm working on a film about the abortion clinics in the Deep South and how they're trying to stay open. But it's not a film about the clinics, right? It's a film about the people who are staffing the clinics, why they do this work. They remind me a lot of the public defenders. They're often misunderstood, maligned, and work under dangerous circumstances, and they adore their jobs. I'm so fascinated with these people who have work that they adore, because isn't that everybody's dream, to just love your job so much? So I'm going to do like work in progress screening at the Full Frame Festival. The reason for the work in progress is to show people the characters, but it's also to get some people excited, to build an email list, to build up groups. Some filmmakers are fantastic at this. Some people hate this, and you'll have to decide where you fall, how much you care about your issue. You're doing criminal justice stuff. You're kind of tailor-made for outreach, and people are going to try and make you outreach girl whether or not you want to. So you might as well take the help, because we do have to build audience. And we can also do some good. And, we make these movies and we try really hard, and sometimes they're good and they can do some good. While you're in production, you can start to work with groups. You can show them clips. I went around to the Public Defender. They have big trade groups, and I showed clips there. So they were all getting excited and talking. So by the time there was an actual film, I was like, okay, it's here. I've been talking about this for 2 years now, and it's finally here. So then they put out on their social networks, there's finally a movie about public defenders. And so that helped to get an audience. So that made HBO happy. So it served your network, it served your issue. But it also, for me, it was super important that the people who could maybe use this to explain things to other people knew that it was out there for them. So the other thing I do now is I go do screenings at colleges. We are Ford funded a tour of 13 states where we work with indigent defense groups, local attorneys, and social justice groups. We might, like in Montana, we're doing 10 screenings across the state. And so we try to be very strategic about those. But this is post-film. You can do this while you're in pre-film, and often in your research, you will come across people that become the core of your issue outreach campaign. So if there are people doing mental health studies, you're finding those people. They might be interesting people to be in your film. They're also have your stuff together. Even if you just have a little landing page where people can find out about your film and get in touch with you, you don't have to have a fancy schmancy website. You can make it on WordPress yourself. That's just how to contact you, maybe a clip if you can, and what your movie's about. Like, that's all people want to know. They're not there for like to stay for 9 hours. They just want to know what it's about. So give them that information, and then people will find you too, which is also really helpful for you, because in addition to showing this at Thanksgiving when you go home, you would like some other people to see it. So you want people to find you, and they'll invite you to come.